And we are live. Welcome to another Super Galactic Saturday. I'm Jerry Sr. with Jerry Jr.
Good morning.
And we're having a wonderful, beautiful Saturday morning. Sky looks pretty good. It's a little warm. The sun is out. Just came from the beach and it was awesome. A lot of fun. Beautiful, of course. And as I say, any day above ground is a good day. And today is definitely a good day. So thanks for joining
Absolutely.
us. We welcome you. And we kind of have some somber news. We've had several deaths in the last like week, I think, and maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, all with very mixed reception, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Uh,
unfortunately. I mean, listen, I'm gonna come right out. I don't have an issue with any of these people, um, and it's sad that they're gone. It's unfortunate, and yeah. So, but yeah, I know particularly. Let's go ahead and say Hulk Hogan, right? I know he used some colorful language to put it nicely.
well, it's
He
okay.
was,
Well, for context, I it's not I it's there's the fact that he said the N word once, and then there's
yeah,
also
and his
the
support
fact
for
that I guess behind the scenes in a private conversation, he had mentioned something about not wanting his daughter dating uh, a
in
black guy unless they're
the N
rich.
word. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he used the N word specifically.
yeah.
And listen, let's be honest, okay? Um, Using that terminology doesn't necessarily mean all black people, right? We understand that even among black people, I mean, Chris Rock explained it the best. He's like, there's black people and there's N words, right? And even black people are tired of N words. So, and a lot of white people
When
do
did
say,
when did that stand up thing come out?
oh, it was years ago. That was years ago.
Like in the '90s? Like how long?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Maybe
So
early 2000s. I
this
mean,
is a couple
yeah.
of this is like a couple of decades ago that
Yeah, it's been
people
a long
understood
time.
this. But
I know
also, I just
that's
want
my
to point
point.
out a
So it's
lot of the
being
people who are mad at Hulk Hogan over that are say the same thing about white people. I've had people say that to me, like when I was what when when I went out with uh whenever I have people say it like my well listen, I don't want to like put anyone on blast or
I was
anything,
gonna
but
say, don't put
I,
anybody on blast, but I know what you're talking about. And yeah, black people say the same things in relation to white people,
yeah, like
and
whenever like I hang out with a
especially
white chick
when it's
or
a
someone who's not
black
black,
man. Yeah,
they're like,
especially
oh,
a black man.
why don't you date black women? I was like, I have date like why are you assuming that I haven't dated black women?
Right,
It's like it's silly and
right. But going further, it's disingenuous because you
yeah.
do understand what he's talking about, what he's referring to, and it's to try and characterize a person, their whole personality, their whole persona, especially someone like him who's very public. Do you really honestly think he was like, looking at all these kids around the world of every race and creed and telling them, well, you can be my fan but you can't? Like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. It's like, so, and you're taking a private conversation where you know what he's referring to.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I'm talking about. It's like don't be. So yeah, it's like you can miss me with that. Hulk Hogan was awesome. I grew up watching him and all the other wrestlers, Roddy Piper, and all, like it was awesome, man. Macho Man. I mean, look, he was part of a great era in entertainment and in sports entertainment, especially. And he was a legend. So, he'll be missed. And regardless of who you decided to vote for or whatever or endorse, he was still a great man. He did great things, and we should have a little bit of reverence for that. You know,
I think I mean listen, you don't have to like Hulk Hogan.
no,
Um,
you
and
don't.
you know I'm I'm always been of the mentality of not making fun of dead people, even the ones
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
don't because
exactly.
it's like it's disingenuous and it's
Well,
hypocritical.
and I look at it this way. You got to ask the question: like, was his existence a net negative or a net positive? And I would say it was a net positive. Right? There's very few things you can point to that he did or didn't do that was detrimental to society. Right?
I mean, that's true, but I mean, even in spite of that, it's like because people's definition of like who are we to put a value on somebody's life, right?
No,
Where
I agree
who
with
they
that.
are,
Right. I'm
and
just
it's
saying
like,
that when you're talking about especially celebrities and people who are well known that pass away, that's kind of how you have to judge it. Is say was like no one's going to look at Hitler and say his existence was a net positive. It's like,
why?
of course not.
Oh,
Yes, that's all. And that's an extreme example. That's my point.
yeah,
You're going to look at like their body of work and say, man, like this person's existence was a net positive. It was great. They contributed something awesome to the world, and you can say that about Hulk Hogan. And sadly, we heard about Malcolm Jamal Warner as well, shifting gears here.
yeah. That was another,
Definitely net positive with him, and
yeah.
that really like Hulk Hogan didn't necessarily shock me because I'm like, yeah, he's an older, he's on like 80, like he was at least 70,
He
something like
was
that.
71, I think.
No, I think he was older than 71. So,
Yeah, no, he was
but
71.
really 71?
Yeah,
Wow, okay, that does kind of surprise me.
yeah,
But still, it's not too shocking. But someone like
that's
Malcolm
fair.
Jamal Warner, who's still very young and still had so much more to do, I'm sure. That really took me by surprise, and I've always liked him. I watched him, growing up watching him on the Cosby Show, of course, and all his other shows, Malcolm and Eddie, and it's like, man, this guy, he was doing it and doing it well, and he was representing, not just black people, but black men and just men in general. Like just presenting himself as an intelligent uh, young man, and it's so sad uh, to see him gone. So um, rest in paradise, and I'm sorry. Condolences to his family because I believe he had a young daughter, right? So
Yeah,
it's very, very, very tragic. And rest, and condolences to Hulk Hogan's family as well. You know, um, and that's kind of the thing to remember too is these people had families, they had loved ones, they had sons and daughters and wives, and so it's important to think about that as well. So and also we learned about Ozzy Osbourne,
yeah, that's true.
who
Yeah,
passed away, moved on, and yeah, and that I have to admit that was surprising too because he was still performing. He was
oh,
still
really?
yeah, he was still doing concerts. I think he had a concert just a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago. So yeah, he was still. But I also heard he was in his remaining years he was in a lot of pain. So
Mm.
yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get into rumors. So, but
Yeah, yeah,
he was in a lot of pain, and so you know. But yeah, it was sad to hear that.
yeah.
He's
It's
definitely a
unfortunate.
colorful person. So like
Yeah, it's
literally, right?
well,
So,
well, you know what? I will say Ozzy Osbourne is uh, essentially he's one of the people that got me into rock music.
yeah,
It was in because I was in middle school when I started listening to like rock and roll and stuff like that, and I was playing the drums. And one of the songs that I used to practice on the drums was "Crazy Train" by Ozzy Osbourne.
yeah,
"Crazy Train" and "Iron Man," and those are both Black Sabbath songs.
yeah,
And Ozzy Osbourne was a pivotal member of Black Sabbath. I still prefer the Dio years, but I still, I can't deny the awesomeness that is, uh, what was that album? I'm so mad. I was just listening to it the other day. It's got Fairies with Boots. Was it War Pigs? No, it wasn't Black Sabbath. Paranoid. Paranoid. It's my favorite. It's my
yeah,
favorite out of the classic Black Sabbath albums. It's got War Pigs. Um, all great songs from great album, which is Paranoid. Paranoid is my favorite of the classic lineup of Black Sabbath. Really great album. They did have great music. Actually, one of my favorite um, Black Sabbath songs that they did was called "Changes." I don't know
Yeah,
if you heard that song.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song, and it was written by um, the guitarist Tony Yomi about his like the death of his mom, and
Wow.
and Ozzy sung that you know really well. It was a really powerful ballad to the point where listen, when a metal song gets covered by a blues artist, that's
Huh.
like that's respect,
Yeah, that's man.
because there was a Charles Bradley did a cover of that song, and because it touched his heart, and Charles Bradley is he's a classic soul singer,
Yeah,
and so that's awesome. So they're a really goated band, and they're one of the pioneers of rock music, and I really appreciate Ozzy Osbourne for creating that legacy.
yeah, for sure. That's facts, man. And that's the thing, when you start to really look at their body of work and what they accomplish, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
It's well beyond their sort of public persona.
yeah. And like I said, there are things that I could critique Ozzy Osbourne or Hulk Hogan about. At the end of the day, nobody's. I know it's cliche to say nobody's perfect, but I only mention that because, um,
Well, it's true. It's not
yeah,
about perfection. When it comes to public figures, right, with few exceptions, it's about their accomplishments. It's not always about you know um, what you think they are as a person. Because most, let's be honest, most of us, the vast majority of people, especially those who are rejecting him or criticizing, either one of them really, but they don't know these people. We don't know these
they
people.
don't know these people,
We don't
and
know
your
them.
lives are probably just as chaotic as they are.
Yeah, it's like we don't know, and that's what it's to say. Oh, he's racist or this or that. It's like, okay, because of a leaked conversation. It's like, I don't know. That's like, it's
Well,
just so
at the
silly.
end of the day, you have to look at what he said and then look at what he's done.
But also
And
look at the context. But
yeah,
that's fine. I'm not here to defend the dead man. I'm here to say, rest in peace. And
yeah, that's fair.
what you contributed was awesome. So, and appreciate it. So, and that's really it. Because that's really all we're really judging is
Yeah,
what they contributed. You know.
yeah. And I'm still going to be bumping Real American uh, in my workout routine because it's a better song. I'm just saying.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Shout out to Rick Derringer. If you hurt my friends, you hurt my pride.
Oh my God, this guy.
What? That's in the song.
I know
It's
that.
awesome.
That's what I'm saying. You just no, but yeah, yeah. So we wanted to give a shout out to these people and show our appreciation and say thank you. So and it's sad. And there were others as well that I'm not as familiar with, but yeah, seems to be a busy week for celebrities, past and present, passing away.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because oh my gosh, what's his name? Chuck Mignon passed away as
yeah,
well.
Chuck Man, yeah,
That made me super sad.
yeah.
I,
That
I,
was
I wonder if
yeah,
Jermaine, my brother, found out because that's one of
yeah.
his
I believe
favorite
I
songs.
told him. So yeah, I don't know if
Okay,
he.
yeah, that's one of our favorite songs of all time. Especially him. He loves that song.
I know he's been trying to play. He's been practicing it. So
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I hope this gives him some motivation. If,
yeah, yeah. And just FYI, like his younger brother plays the saxophone and the
yeah,
clarinet and the trumpet.
yeah,
So he's trying to learn um, one of his songs, that very popular song.
yeah. So good, so
So good,
good.
feels so good. Yeah, and
Yeah, I love that song.
he
I
sounds
love,
pretty good too. So he's getting there. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully,
Children of Sanchez is another one of my favorite songs by him. It's
yeah,
definitely more dramatic and stuff like that, but it's an epic song. He's just a great trumpeter. But yeah, check my own stuff. I mean, he does feel so good. It's a great song. I'm sure you hear it everywhere. But he's got a lot of other great stuff. Check out "Children of Sanchez." It's a song he did for a Mexican American drama film. Chuck Noel did the soundtrack for that movie, and it's super epic. Great soundtrack. Check it out. Fun and Games is another good Chuck Mangione album.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of great stuff.
Oh yeah, he's been going strong for since like the late '60s, I think. So
Yeah, absolutely.
he's legendary.
Yeah, he's my favorite King of the Hill character.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I know.
And it was so random.
I kind of forgot until I heard about his death. I'm like, oh yeah,
And it's like, why did he appear in King of the Hill so much?
people. Yeah, like it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
And I've seen people putting up memes and all that.
yeah.
It's nice. It's like okay, that's pretty cool, man. So I don't know. That's kind of it's kind of weird. The internet and social media in particular is a strange thing now. What will it look like in like 20 years? I don't know, but it's kind of interesting. You can sort of remember people and honor people with memes. And, it's an interesting way to
Oh
that we
wow.
communicate now. So,
So I just got some incoming news. Shout out to one of our fans, Mecha Missionary.
hmm
So apparently, some lost media has been found. It's the uncensored version of the Fist of the North Star movie, the 1986 movie.
really,
Yeah. So a little context. So there's the Fist of the North Star animated series, the anime, and then there's the Fist of the North Star movie, which is basically a condensed version of the everything between him killing Shin and him fighting Rao,
yeah,
and for the first time, I should say. And it's okay. Like it's a cool movie. It's got some really cool action scenes. I just think it condenses the story in a way that I'm not a fan of. Because there's a lot of emotional moments in Fish of the North Star that are lost. But it's still a cool movie to watch. I still recommend you watch it. But I also would rather you watch
yeah. The
the
series is better.
yeah the series is better. But one of the cool things about one of the things that kind of happened was they censored the like one of the things about this movie is that they actually animated all the gore and the
Yeah, no censored, no
yeah well yeah,
yeah,
but when it came to direct to video, they ended up like they didn't do a very good job censoring because mainly they distorted the footage in a way that it just looks weird. Like you can still see the gore, but like it's all like I don't know. You'd have to see it for yourself.
yeah.
Visually, it just looks weird, but they didn't do a very good job of censoring it if that was their goal. But apparently, there's a version without the crazy editing, and so you could actually see what all the insane carnage is supposed to look like. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm interesting to take a look at that. So if it's probably on YouTube somewhere, but we'll I'll look for it. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, if you know we can find it, let us know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Mecha Missionary.
yeah. Thanks. That's pretty awesome news.
And to answer your question, yes, I have seen Sakigake Sakigake Otokujuzu. It's hilarious. I know you haven't seen it, Dad. It's Fist in the North Star if it was a high school drama.
Really?
And when I say high school drama, I mean it's it's imagine if Jotaro had to go to military school. That's the show.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's literally the show.
Yeah,
And hijinks ensues. It's like it's not to be taken seriously. It started off as it feels like a parody of like the hyper. manly anime of the 80s. Like it literally ends like it starts off with a kid with a samurai sword walking into school
Yeah.
and fighting a sumo wrestler and getting dunked in hot oil as a punishment, and then it ends with him making friends with all of his enemies, and they're like pissing off a cliff and a rainbow ends. Like it's really stupid in like the best way. But yeah, it's a funny show.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I gotta check it out.
But yeah, thanks for that, Mecha Missionary.
But yeah, so moving on.
Yeah.
As you see, we kind of led with Aztec Batman. Uh, Apologies for the misspelling of Aztec.
Oh yeah, you didn't meet the H.
I did fix it everywhere else, I think.
No worries.
Yeah, I just didn't catch it. But
Yeah, I mean, do you want to show the trailer?
yeah, I wanted to.
I got it pulled up. Hold on a second.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's I don't. It's like when you think that the conversation is kind of dying, right? And then somebody says, "Hold my beer," and
listen, before you listen,
it's not dead. We got it's life support.
there's a lot of issues with this, but I will explain my issue with it after we watch the trailer. Here we go.
Oops, sorry.
And then yeah.
A
You hear
wise man
that?
told me once.
Yeah, I hear.
Fear can kill you or inspire you to action.
My son, when you take my place, it'll be your duty to always be ready for battle.
What are those?
My hands control the power of destiny. What I want.
Possible. We have strict rules in place that forbid this.
Rules are rules.
Slaughter them all!
Are you all right? Where's your father?
I'm going to Cortez. I want you to train me to become the greatest warrior that the world has ever known.
What else do you require, my lord?
Fear.
Even with all of your training, I still can't defeat them. If only there was somebody who's stealthy. Find that bat and that cat. Put your trust in me.
Cortez must stand and face my vengeance. Not vengeance, but with sacrifice.
You've been given a sacred mission. Whether you accept it or not, it's the truth. Tell us, war leader, what are your orders? Attack!
So yeah, that's a thing that's happening. Um, yeah. So all right. So a couple of things, two things.
I don't know. It's
A, because here's the thing, because the easy thing to do, right, is to say, "Oh, you're racist. You don't appreciate stories of people." Listen, if you want to go watch a great animation about Aztecs, go watch El Dorado. Secondly,
Colorado.
yeah,
DreamWorks. Right?
yeah, great
Yeah,
movie.
that was actually really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Two, if you want to watch, if you want to experience an epic historical fictional story about Aztec warriors specifically that's actually accurate to the culture. Um, Go read Aztec by Gary Jennings. Aztec by Gary Jennings is one of the coolest books I've ever read. Um, I haven't finished it yet because it's hard to read. And I'll admit it's hard to read because Aztec culture is pretty insane.
Yeah, yeah.
So just for context, if you don't, do you know who Gary Jennings is? Dad?
No.
So Gary Jennings, he's a novelist, and he's probably one of the most based novelists of all time. So you remember Rohan from Part Four, Joseph's Bizarre
Oh yeah,
Adventure?
yeah.
He's essentially a real life Rohan. Like, you remember he made that whole speech about experiencing reality through his manga.
Yeah, that's right.
So Gary Jennings spent 10 years in Mexico, living in Mexico. Um, interviewing all the people that live there in order to write this book.
Fascinating.
10 years,
So
and this isn't the only book.
author, like
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's
this isn't the only book he's done that for. There's a book called, and I'm looking for it right now. There's a book that he wrote that where he that takes place in the circus, and in order to here we go. Yeah, his novels were known for their historical detail and occasionally graphic content. And Jennings' novels were well researched. He lived 12 years in Mexico to
wow.
research the Aztec novels.
That's impressive.
Traveled to the Balkans while researching Raptor, another book. Joined 9 circus troops during the writing of Spangle.
Man. Okay.
he joined 9 circus troops.
It's a real deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, shoot, I'm check out that book. Let me know when you're
So
done with it.
Make a missionary. He hasn't eaten a spider yet, so he's not on Rohan levels of creativity. But he's pretty close. He's pretty close.
Still, that's yeah.
But yeah,
But
so
this,
Gary
this
Jennings.
trailer is
But here's the thing, though. If you know anything about Aztec culture, it's like, I don't know. You know that Batman wouldn't really fit in this context
right.
because
Well, first and foremost, right. The backdrop of Aztec culture has nothing to do with the backdrop of U.S. American judicial systems. That's number one, right?
well, yeah,
There's no parallel. Um, Two, this looks like a revenge story, right?
right.
So
And the whole
Batman
point of Batman is
is
the
right,
opposite of that.
right. He doesn't. He's not. He may have started that way as a character, but that's not how he ended up, right? Now, to be fair, perhaps that's not the case, but I find that hard to believe considering we just saw him watch his father be slaughtered by these, quote unquote colonizers, right?
Where the
In
conquistadors.
cold blood for literally no reason. They're seen as invaders, obviously. So this is more of a rise up and fight the invading horde type of story versus a just seeking justice, right? Um, Instead of vengeance, right? I if they're able to do that somehow, and I'm guessing it's going to be the cliched scene where they say it's not worth it, you'll be just like him, right? If that's all it's going to boil down to, and then he decides not to, it's a garbage story already. I'm
Not
sorry,
because
because that's just cliche right now. Like seriously, like you're not gonna be like, I don't want to be like you, colonizer. I'll spare your life, like you didn't do for my. Like, it's like, come on, man, you're gonna
yeah,
kill him, right?
if he's a real
There's no
Aztec, he's
reason.
not gonna do that.
Yeah, there's no reason to not kill the guy, right? So I'd rather they not wrap Batman around this.
That's what I'm
Just
saying. It's like, it
make
doesn't. If
it
you want to
make it a
make a
story.
revenge story about
Yeah,
Aztecs,
exactly. Just
do it. That's
make it
fine.
that.
Yeah,
Right, where he doesn't have to don a bat persona, which once again makes no sense. But he doesn't have to don a bat persona to do that. He can just, it's like, why not make up a new legend, like, like Tarzan, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, why
yeah.
not say, okay, this is the Aztec version of, a mix of Tarzan and Batman. I don't know, and it's just it's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like it would be far more respectful, even in spite of like knowing about Aztec culture and the human sacrifice. It's like you can dismiss all that because this is a fictional tale, right? You can dismiss all that, right? But putting Batman in here in a sense of like he's just like Batman, but it's the Aztec Empire. It's like no, that's not how it works. Like it. In fact, it doesn't work. I don't even see how logically they followed through to create this. Like it's kind of crazy. You will have to dismiss all of that, and all they're doing is grabbing the tropes, right? They got the
Right.
Joker trope, they got the Catwoman trope, they got Batman trope. But it's just a visage, right? It's not really. There's no substance behind it.
Right. The problem with the whole, and that's kind of one of my things about the whole treating these heroes as like mantles, quote unquote, is that it's like they're not, yeah, they're not really res- treating Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, etc., as Spider Man as characters. They're treating them as well, it's like you said, tropes. So it's like, or it's like what defines Batman is the character of Bruce Wayne, right?
Right.
Like Bruce Wayne is Batman, Peter Parker Spider Man, Clark Kent is Superman, and it's like that's never going to change, you know.
Right. But
But it's like when you try to make a story and then you feel like and then you do and then you stick that has nothing to do with Batman, but then you stick Batman in it, like the different archetypes of that you see in Batman, and then call it Batman. It makes it seem like you don't have enough faith in your own vision, so
right.
you have to slap on somebody else's
Yeah.
story to
And
uplift your vision. Do
it's
you get
not
what I'm
even that.
saying?
Yeah, and it's not even that that's unusual. Like I was reading about the movie Ultraman Rising, right? And I
Yeah,
found out that the creator of that story, the writer, the original writer, developed it as an independent movie project. Like, it had nothing to do with Ultraman,
really.
but because he shopped it around, he was at like Sony, I think, and they were trying to do it, then they decided not to. So he took
Hmm.
it with him. They let him take the idea, and he shopped it around till he got to Netflix, and then through Netflix, because Netflix has invested in anime quite a bit, right? They're working with
Right,
it. So the studio that had the rights to Ultraman, they're in communications, and so they suggested, hey, why don't you use Ultraman? And so he got permission from the owners of Ultraman to use Ultraman in his story as the hero, because it was about a hero that takes care of his enemy's child. That's what the premise of the story was, right? His enemy's child that was orphaned, mainly right because of his actions, right, defending
right.
that. And so he just tweaked the story to make it about Ultraman. So I don't have a problem with that because that's an original story. You know what I mean? It's
That's
like
true.
it still works because the premise is still the same, pretty much, right?
Well, I guess at the end of the day, it's like, but I don't
But
know.
here is that's what I'm saying. But here, it's like it's not what they're really doing, right? Like
That's
clearly,
the thing. What you
probably
described is
should
that.
have a story, right? But it's like they're painting Batman on.
Well, that here's the thing. What you described was they took his original story and then fit it and then adjusted it so it fits with Batman. As opposed to this, they're trying to
You
adjust,
mean you mean Ultraman?
or excuse me, is that they took the guy's story and adjusted it to fit with Ultraman, as opposed to here, they're trying to take Batman and try to adjust Batman to fit with Aztecs.
Well, they're not even doing that. That's kind of what I'm saying.
I know that, but
They're
that's what they're
not even.
trying to do.
Well, I don't even think they're
But they're
trying to.
failing at it.
I think they're literally just saying a guy that dresses as a bat is going to fight a guy that paints his face like a clown, and he's going to partner with a chick that dresses up like a cat. That's it. You know what I mean? Like
Well, I know, but
not
no,
a
hello, but it's
with
because they didn't put
Ultraman
any effort
Rising.
into it.
They're saying here's a story about a hero that literally takes care of a villain's orphan, right? Who happens to, the villain was a monster still, right? So
Yeah,
there's parallels here. You understand? So they're saying, well, let's add Ultraman in this because that probably would be a good fit because it fits into Ultraman's like mythos, right? As his IP, right?
So
And the
yeah,
creators like,
we're saying
okay.
this. Yeah.
So no, what I'm saying is though, the story already aligns with Ultraman. It's proper.
Well,
This
I
does not align at all
but that's
because
we're making the same point, Dad. I'm
yeah,
just
but I'm just talking about the fact that like I don't think they're trying to do what they did with Ultraman. I
I
think
know that. I'm saying they're doing the opposite.
okay, yeah, they're
That's what
painting
I said when
Batman
they fit.
on. It's like a light coat of paint, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I
Yeah,
said they took the guy's story, right, and then they adjusted it to align with Ultraman,
yes,
right, with the Ultraman. But as opposed, they're trying to take Batman's story and trying to adjust Batman's story to align it with whatever this is, and you can't do
yeah.
that.
It's you're right. It doesn't.
It's backwards.
Everything that drives Batman is a Western concept.
Yeah,
Period. That's why I brought up like U.S. or Western
like
judicial
us,
system.
like
It's like it doesn't like perhaps you can, and I think they did this with I think it was Gotham by Gaslight. They put them in Europe, right, and put them up against Jack the Ripper. Like, that
mhm.
that still follows. Why? Because the legal system, judicial system, and societal norms
Well,
align.
it's the
They're
culture. Yeah,
similar. They're similar. So there's a parity at play here, right? So you could do Europe and maybe even like Spain or you understand what I'm saying? Like because there's a Eurocentric cultural dynamic
right.
rooted in our judicial system, right? The idea
Yeah,
of law and justice.
like a lot of people don't want to hear this, but the reality is that stories like Batman wouldn't exist outside of a Western culture.
No, not really. Not in the same way. Like you could have. That's what I'm saying. Like you said earlier, like you can have a vengeance story,
Right,
right?
but
But it's
Batman
not
isn't
never
a vengeance story, right?
Yeah,
It's a
exactly. It's not. He's never has been. It's about justice. It's
yeah,
about seeking justice, operating above the law, but also cooperating with it, right? Because Batman does cooperate with the law, right?
yeah,
So it's like here, who's the law? There is no law. You're talking about armies invading a whole other continent, a whole other empire, right? And then there's other empires intermingled, because historically, I
it's
believe other tribes or whatever around the Aztec Empire joined the so-called colonizers to help them overtake the Aztecs. So they had local people that aligned with the foreigners to help take them down. So this is not in any remote way like there is no parallel at all.
right. Well, I mean,
And that's the problem. If there was some kind of parallel, then you can kind of okay, you kind of wrap your head around it. But here, there's literally you're literally changing what Aztec Empire is.
yeah,
You're making it something that is never was and never will be. Right?
right. And to piggyback on that and my point, it's like people like to compare, for example, uh, Superman and Goku, right? Because they're both aliens who came from another planet, who were raised by humans, and so they have human values instead of whatever. Like, yeah. A lot of
Right.
pictures you could draw with Superman and
Sure.
Goku, but ultimately, though, um, Superman and Goku are still fundamentally different characters because one is Japanese and one is American story. Um, I'm just sharing this because this is one of my favorite. But Superman is he is a Christ symbol, right? He represents the best of us. He
Right.
represents something to aspire to,
Right.
from both from a moral standpoint, from a everything standpoint. Goku is Goku does what he does not because he's like this moral.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a moral agent.
Yeah, he's not a moral agent. That's not to say he's a bad person. Like when you watch
No,
this, like
no, yeah,
classic Dragon Ball, like
that's just not what drives him though.
he what drives him is adventure and the drive to become stronger.
Right, to get better, stronger.
Yeah, it's the master of self.
It's like
That's Goku's
yeah,
whole
he's
arc.
chasing power while Superman is leveraging power.
Right.
Superman is looking for. He is trying to make the world a better place, even the universe, right? In certain continuities.
Yeah.
But Goku isn't necessarily concerned with that.
Yeah. But
He's
he's after self mastery.
yeah,
Along
self
the
mastery.
way, he helps other people in his
Right,
journey. And
right,
so that's a fundamentally different, because like I said, his story is based off of Journey Through the West, right? And the original story of Sun Wukong, right? Sun Wukong was this like this trickster monkey who thought he was better than everybody until Buddha trapped him
yeah.
under a rock.
Yeah, I remember that movie. That's an old one.
Yeah,
I remember watching.
I mean it's an old story. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's an old
mean,
story. Yeah,
yeah,
and he had
and
to prove himself noteworthy and noble and brave.
well, he did so by
Honest.
helping this monk
Yeah,
travel to India to get some schools. I'm paraphrasing because
yeah, yeah,
stupid American, but he put Sun Wukong in charge of helping this Buddhist monk to prove himself, right? And so that's what Dragon Ball's story is a parallel to, where
yeah.
Goku helps Bulma get the Dragon Balls, and he ends up seeing the world
See,
and learning more about the world.
and it's an inverse of Superman in that you acquire power right by proving yourself noble and brave and unselfish. And
Yeah,
Superman is already noble, brave, and unselfish, so he uses that power to help others.
yeah,
Right? It's a very different, similar parallels, but different dynamics and slightly different themes, right?
right.
Although you do correlate, and that's why you can, like this image implies, you can kind of swap the characters, right, and tell a story. Like you could take elements of Dragon Ball and apply them to Superman and make a Superman movie or animation, right?
I mean that's
And
true,
vice
but they
versa.
are
Do
still
the
very
same with
different.
Goku. You can make Goku very Superman like after he's achieved a certain level of power, right? And what does he do with it? Well, maybe he goes around and rescues people. It does you understand? Like you can do that because there's certain parallels that exist. But even though it's they're from two different cultures, so to speak, right? But
Yeah,
with his Aztec Batman, it's like I don't know. It's kind of like, what are those? Like, just like it says in the trailer, like he's like, what are those? Like, what are they doing? I don't know. It's it's just kind of weird, you know. It'll be interesting to see it and see the story because I admit I'm curious to see. Okay, is this going to be some type of like virtue signal messaging, or is it actually a real story about something? And they're just using Batman tropes or whatever visuals to tell the story, right? But it's I don't know. It's even if let's say it is an authentic story, it's not really about white man bad, brown people good. You know, even though the trailer kind of insinuates that, it's kind of like why are you using Batman? Like that's the part that's kind of like very odd, right? It's like Batman Ninja, you know, and people are mixed
yeah.
on that. Like I watched it and it's a fun watch, but at the same time I'm like, but none of this is Batman.
I'll be honest. I don't really care for the, because I've seen those movies, the Batman Ninja
Yeah, I
movies.
only saw
They're like
Batman Ninja. I haven't seen anything beyond that because
well, they made another one
I know.
where it's
Yeah,
like
I,
the
I haven't
Justice
bothered to
League.
watch it because it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, what are you trying to do? You know, it's different from saying let's make a Batman animated movie, but it's anime, meaning you're gonna hire people who are experts in anime, right? An anime studio to
Yeah,
create it, right? And it's going to have that anime look and feel and that flair, and maybe even certain anime tropes are going to be thrown in, right? That's fine. They've done that, right? They've done that with Marvel characters, right? So with X Men and all that stuff, and that's awesome. That actually looks, you
well,
know,
I mean, with that,
kind of
with
funny.
Batman Ninja, it was just Batman traveling back in
I
time.
know, but that's my point. It's like the time travel part is just an excuse to get him to, you
Well,
know,
yeah.
and then it just goes on. It's like the most ridiculous adventure.
I mean, with that, I
They
mean,
have
if
a
it's,
giant robot for crying out loud. Like, it's silly.
I know, but that sounds awesome. Here's the thing:
It
it's
was
like,
it was awesome to see. Like I said, it's a fun watch, but it's still a stupid movie. You know, it's like Wonder Woman 1984.
well, let me ask you
It's
this:
a
do you
guilty
think the
pleasure movie.
story?
It's a
I mean,
fun watch, but it's a terrible movie. It's a
right,
bad.
but Dad, here's the thing: is Batman Ninja any more out of pocket than like any of the Silver Age Batman stories?
Um, I mean, it's pretty out there. Even
But Dad, there was a rainbow Batman. There's a rainbow
I
Batman
know,
suit. There's
I know.
a giant. There's a guy. There's a guy. This is a Superman story, but there's a guy who like pissed off Superman by continuously pulling pennies out of his ears, and then Superman threatens to kill him because of it. Like, there's a bunch of wacky story. Like, if it's gonna be wacky, at least be cool
I
with
know.
it.
That's what I'm saying. It's fine. It's like you want to go there. That doesn't make it a like just because it's golden age doesn't mean it was good, right? I mean that's kind of part of what makes it somewhat endearing is
I
that
mean, the Silver Age, yeah. But I
it's
get
still
your point,
retarded.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Well,
fact
here's
that
the thing, though.
but
It's
still,
like this is this. That's the thing, though. It's like back then the comics didn't take itself that
right?
seriously.
It didn't.
You could
Right.
enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I agree.
This is taking itself seriously, and it's like, but why? You know,
Yeah, you're.
even Batman Ninja,
It's
like,
definitely
even though it looks
uh,
like a serious movie, it doesn't take itself seriously
no, I
because
don't think it does, and
no,
that's kind of what I'm saying. It's a
and
fun
that's
ride,
fine.
and but it is objectively kind of a silly movie.
I mean,
It's
is it any sillier than Batman teaming up with the Ninja Turtles?
no, actually, that actually makes more sense.
It does.
Yeah, I'm serious. Believe it or not, that's for me, and I'm speaking in terms of like story plausibility, right? You're talking about two group of characters that
Yeah,
both are in New York, right? Gotham is basically New York, so you can say, well, what if New York is, and that's been done in Superman universe. There's
yeah.
still a New York, but there's also Metropolis and Gotham
Metropolis.
City.
Yeah, there was a
So
movie where they teamed up. It was
you can
awesome.
make it plausible where, yeah, Batman and the Ninja Turtles somehow meet up, right? Not to mention with the Ninja Turtles in particular, they have sort of outrageous adventures like sci-fi type. So you can
Yeah,
have
yeah,
where it
yeah, yeah.
could have been a portal. It could, you know what I mean. Like it could have been interdimensional. So you can do that, and it's plausible story wise, and still is a good story. Batman Ninja,
Well,
yeah, they use time travel, but it's like the way it's done visually, it's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, it was actually really cool looking.
mm.
It's just you're watching it and you're like, okay, yeah, but a lot of this is kind of like, what are
this
we
is
doing?
this
Like,
is
what are we
dumb.
doing here? Like, yeah, like it's like you did it just to do it, not
Yeah.
because there's a real story to be told. It
You
really
know
was.
what? Go watch Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It actually is a good movie, and I
It
think
is,
you'll like
yeah,
it.
that's what I'm
Oh, you've
saying.
seen it already?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
that's my point. I'm like, yeah, it's way more plausible, right? You
I
can
mean, it's definitely a
fight
better movie.
better and
Yeah,
all that. Like, it's
yeah.
actually
It
if
was
you're a
dope.
Batman fan and you're a Turtles
That
fan,
fight he had with the
you're in,
Shredder
you're in heaven.
was
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, you're in heaven watching that. So because it was well done, it was very well done. So and that's kind of my point. It has to be well done. But like something like this Aztec stuff, I don't know. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I don't know. I don't know who's behind it. I haven't looked deeper. They just dropped it like this week, so I just thought give a first reaction to it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to find out like who's behind this. What's their deal? Like, what's the motivation? What's the story? Like, because it's kind of like, huh? Like because I know there's like an African Batman, which doesn't make sense. Like, is what part of Africa is it? South Africa? Is it Uganda?
Nah,
Like
it's Africa.
Kenya?
It's
That's what I'm saying. Africa's a continent. There's no America Batman. Like there's Batman of Gotham City, right? Like that's what I'm saying. But so you can't have a Africa Batman. He has to be I don't an African city Batman. You understand what I'm saying? Like what city in Africa? What country? What city? Like
Well,
so
Wakanda, obviously.
what's the fundamental grounding principles of that?
The Batman of Zamunda.
Just like in America, like I said, you can't have Batman proper without the underpinnings of American history, of the judicial system, of the legal system, moral ethics of justice, right?
Yeah,
Like all that plays into why Batman is Batman. Just like Superman and the American way is parallel. Like you really can't have Superman without America. It doesn't follow. Same thing with Captain America, right? Like it's in the name. Yeah, it's like it doesn't follow. Like even when they do like the what is it, Captain Britain or whatever. I think
who?
Captain Britain or what, I forgot. I think that's his name, right? Remember they made Peggy Carter the Captain Britain.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
watch that.
yeah, but I believe there is a captain, and it was a man, but they made her. But it's like even that follows logically though, right? Because once again, similar values and legal system, right? So like it, while it sounds nice that oh, there's a Aztec Batman, it's like logically, right? And that's the thing.
It's like, but why?
Stories work because in our own logic they become plausible. So when you start doing stories that are not plausible, right, logically, as viewers when we're white, it's like it starts to break down, and that's why certain things don't do as well because they lack the plausibility. Yeah, it's like a story has to be plausible in order for us to then say, okay, I'll suspend reality, I'll suspend disbelief, and engage with this story. Right? It's not about necessarily realism, right? Like for example, Wizard of Oz is one of the greatest stories, right? It's been handed down, it's lasted generations, right? Because it's a very good, compelling, substantive story. Even though it's realistically would never happen, right? A tornado would never rip through somewhere, pull you up, and take you to a whole other dimension and gently land you where you just wake up from a nap, right? You understand, and it's everything's magic. Like we already understand that, but we suspend our disbelief. Why? Well, we understand it's fantasy. That's number one. But two, because there's plausibility in the characters, right? In the background, like she's on a farm in was it Kansas, I think, right?
Yeah,
You understand she has fam. She's human. She's a girl that we can relate to. She's a young girl and all this kind of stuff, right? And she's, like the Wicked Witch. We understand because we see the parallel with the mean teacher before, so for this one. I'm talking about the movie, of course, but you understand. It's like there's a plausibility where we go, okay, we can engage with this, right? Because we understand this culture, we understand these principles that Dorothy represents, so we can jump in, right? That's why it's fun to see, like John Carter of Mars, where he's from Earth and he's from a certain era of Earth, and he has a certain set of principles and values, and he's taken to
right,
another world where everything's fantastical or different. And
right.
how does his principles hold up in relation to this alien world? Right? And you give him an edge, and you say, well, we'll give him a slight advantage. He can leap real high. He's kind of really strong now because the gravity's different. So what does he do? Well, he becomes a hero. Why? Because he has these underpinnings of values and ethics that we relate to. Right? So we
Yeah.
want him to be a hero. We don't want him to be a villain. Right? But that's a wholly American perspective, or at least a Western perspective. You follow what I'm saying? Like
No,
without
I agree. I mean,
John
yeah,
Carter would be, we don't know where he would be. You know, that's why putting Superman in Russia in the Kremlin, right, where he crashes and what I mean, and he becomes a communist. That's why that's so compelling, right? Because the
right,
values are very different, right?
yeah.
They're kind of anti-West to a certain degree. So and that's what I mean. Like when you do something like Aztec Batman, it's like, what are you trying to convey here, right? And you're asking us to suspend belief, right? Disbelief, so we can enjoy it. But it's like, but it's I would say a lot of people who may not be as familiar with the Aztecs will probably just look at it and go, "Oh, okay, that's kind of interesting," and just watch it, right? And that's fine. But thanks to the internet, I think a lot more people are more aware.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So that may
if you
have
learn basic history, then
That's
yeah,
what I
you know
mean.
what the
So that
Aztecs are.
may make a difference with how it's received, right? Because more people, oh, why are they doing the Aztecs then, right? Because people are gonna naturally go, oh, that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? You understand?
Right.
But the presumption is that somehow the Aztec Empire is very similar, right, in values, etc., right? That you can have a Batman, and that's saying a lot. So, and so, like I said, it'd be interesting
I mean,
to see how the
I'm not
story plays out.
interested.
I mean,
If
I don't
you,
want to dismiss it. I rather get more information and then decide. I'm willing to watch it just to at least see what the story is. It depends, but it's like yeah. But just off riff, it's like yeah, I don't know. Like that doesn't seem to align logically, right? As a story. So they're taking a kind of I don't know. Was this? I don't even know. Was this even a book? That'd be interesting to find out.
no,
Was it?
not
What
to
is
my
it? Comics?
understanding.
A
As far as I
series?
know, no.
Graphic novel. I don't know.
As far as I've seen, no.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I don't
because I
know.
know there's like else worlds and all that kind of stuff, and
I mean, yeah, that's
the
fine. It's just
reimaginings of Batman, past, present,
I
and
don't know.
future.
There,
So
there it has to make some. There has to be some sense to it,
yeah,
even if
it's
it's
like Batman Brave and the Bold, right? They did all these different versions,
yeah,
but it's like you suspend the disbelief because you're like, yeah, I mean, they're just having fun. Like it's the show is built to be tongue in cheek and kind of silly, right? So you're not looking at it like, oh, they're trying to tell this serious story about caveman Batman, right? You understand? It's like you're not looking at it like it's something plausible. You're like, oh, okay, this is dumb, but it's funny, right?
yeah,
And that's what I mean with this Aztec thing. I don't know, is this supposed to be not only that, but like that's another thing too. The animation, it looks like
yeah. I didn't like
Archer,
it.
right? It's the same type of style. And with that, with Archer, and maybe this is good or bad for that style, but if I see that kind of style, it makes me think it's a comedy,
Yeah, yeah.
some type of satire. Because like with the X-Men, the reboot that they did, the
Hmm.
first few like clips or trailers they showed looked similar, right? And it was kind of like, what's with the stiffness, right? Are they animating on like threes and fours, or like what's going on, right? The bold outline, right? Because it harkened back to Archer. The same with when DC rebooted Superman, the animated movies, right? With they did Superman and they did the Flash and all that, and it's a similar style, right? It's like just kind of bold outline stylization, and it's harkens back to, although the frame rate is better than Archer. Right? It's a, I wouldn't say better, but it's different. It's ones and twos versus threes and fours, right? Whatever. So it'd be interesting to see, like with this one. I'm getting the same vibe, like, oh, what are they going for here? And it could be maybe it's just low budget, I don't know, but yeah, that throws me off too because in certain clips in the trailer it looked okay, then in others it's like, oh, there's that archerness, right?
Yeah, I actually could see it now that you mentioned it.
So yeah, it's, I don't know, something that's what kind of came to mind too. Is it's like maybe it's a budget thing, and overall it looks okay, it looks good. Um, color palette's nice, all that stuff, but yeah. I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, what's DC doing here? Because they have a kind of a hit with Superman now. The movie, it's doing pretty good, I think. And like I said, I enjoyed it. It's a good movie, so I hope they're they don't end up shooting themselves in the foot
I
putting
mean,
out
I mean,
like
we'll see.
terrible stuff. Speaking of Superman, the Fantastic Four is in theaters, and I plan to go see it. Maybe go see it today. I don't know if you have time or tomorrow, but yeah, I'm hearing good reviews. I don't know if you've heard, but I've seen a few positive, mostly
Yeah,
positive.
yeah,
So
same here. I was spoiled a little bit, but yeah, I've heard
yeah,
good.
yeah. If you watch Critical Drinker, you're gonna get spoiled.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I haven't watched any. I haven't watched any reviews. I just someone posted some clips online.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
I don't think I've seen any clips yet, but I've heard about the story. Nerdrotic did a review, and a few others, and all of them were mostly good. They're like, it's a okay movie. It's not terrible. Film Threat, they did a quick review right out of the theater,
hmm
and they were kind of split. So well, I would say split, but they both said the movie was fine. It was a decent movie, but one was like, I don't know, and then
that's
So,
fair.
but
Yeah, yeah,
generally, it's like I walk away with it's generally good mid compared to what we've been getting.
yeah.
Now,
Okay,
some say better than Superman, others say not as good. They like Superman better. So, and that's fine. I mean, I think I kind of expected it to be kind of split with fans. Like some people are more Marvel than DC too. So,
that's
but
true.
and vice versa. So I know, like for me, I'm definitely more of a DC person. Even though I love the initial Marvel Cinematic Universe run with Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, etc., right? The Hulk, up until Infinity War. Yeah, I was a fan. I've never really cared for the books as much. I had some Spider Man, I had some Fantastic Four. That was about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I had a couple issues of X Men. Over the years, I've read some, but I'm always been a DC player. But and when I say DC, I'm talking about DC animation. Like DC comics. I've never really read DC comics.
Yeah,
Like
a lot of
every
Superman
blue moon, I'll
comics.
read like a Superman and I have some. Yeah, I mean, I have in more recent years, like All Star Superman, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but like I'm talking about like growing up, I wasn't like a big DC comics. I read more like
Actually,
Marvel.
yeah, yeah, a lot more Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, I was more Spider Man and Spider Man. I would read some X Men, but X Men was hard to like follow. Like with Spider Man, I would find a series like the Clone Wars and just read that. Right, like
Yeah, yeah,
so that was easier to follow. Plus, I was a fan of Spider Man from the TV shows, so that made me want to read the comics. And so yeah, over the years, I've always leaned DC because I've always loved DC animation, like Super Friends, all that kind of stuff. Superman animated,
mm,
all the way up until the Bruce Timm, Batman and Superman and all that.
yeah,
Justice League, So I've always been just because I love Warner Brothers animation, and I think that's part of it too. I grew up loving Warner Brothers, like Bugs Bunny and all that, Daffy Duck. My dad was a big fan. He watched the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show every Saturday
oh yeah,
when I was growing up, and I would sit right there next to him and watch it with him. So that's kind of my frame of reference is with DC. It's not really the comics, although I'm aware of the comics. I've read some of the comics, right? And I'm talking about growing up, but it wasn't until more recently, like when I hit, basically I was an adult when I really started reading any DC comics, right? Um, but as a kid, I read more Spider Man and some X Men, but mostly Spider Man.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and then DC was just basically television versions of their characters. Like in the movies, of course, Christopher Reeve, all that. So it's like kind of interesting, my frame of reference. So for me, I like Superman. I like this version of Superman. James Gunn did surprise me. I do like it. I like it better than the Man of Steel, right? Not
that's
better
fair.
than Henry Cavill. I kind of wish we could have kept Henry Cavill and just put him in this movie as Superman. You know what I mean? Like that actually would have been really awesome. I think because I thought he was a great Superman, right? I think he's just a victim of like
The
kind of
bad
bad
writing.
writing or
Yeah,
bad production. But like, and not that James Gunn's Superman is better so far as the storytelling. It is a slightly better story though I think. But Henry Cavill would have been awesome. But the guy they have is fine. What's his name? Corn Sweat, right? Corn Sweat. I don't know.
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting his name.
Yeah,
Uh,
James, right? James Cornsweet, I think that's his name.
yeah, there. Yeah,
Yeah, so he's good. He's solid. So I'm not like trying to diss him, but I mean, maybe we can get two Supermen. I don't know, but that would mean parallel worlds and all that. But
oh, David Cornsweat. That's his name.
oh, David, sorry, yeah, David, sorry, David Cornsweet. I got your name wrong. But yeah, but here's Fantastic Four. Now I've always liked Fantastic Four because I remember watching the TV show. They had an animated series way back when, right? Um, and I've read a couple of runs on Fantastic Four. One of them is Jonathan Hickman's run, which I really liked. So that's like 2000s, I believe, right? Early 2000s, something like that. But so I was kind of like mixed about being excited
Yeah, yeah,
because I saw the previous iterations and they're okay. Like the first one they did, I think that was with Sony, right? Um, it was
oh,
okay.
the first movie.
Yeah, the first movie. It
Uh,
was it was
yeah, I
okay.
mean that was my
I
proper
don't,
introduction to the
yeah, I don't
Fantastic.
think they nailed Mr. Fantastic though. He was too much of a kind of a milk toast, and I never saw him as that. I always saw him as someone who was just aloof but commanding and authoritative. Like self assured, but just somewhat aloof when it came to like, especially more sort of personal, emotional things, right? You know what I mean? Like when it came to the more intimate connections with his team, right? Especially his wife. Like that's how I kind of saw it. Like he's not weak, you know. But in that movie, they made him seem like he was kind of weak, like he was just a nerd. And it's like, oh, the word nerd in Reed Richards never aligned with me as I perceived the character. Even though, yeah, he's a brilliant scientist, right? I mean, and he's the leader of this very powerful team of heroes. But I never saw him as a nerd. But in that movie, that's kind of what they did. They kind of painted him as a nerd. Even with Doctor Doom being his rival, and he's like all cool and suave, right? He's rich billionaire, but Reed Richards is kind of struggling financially, and and all he has left is the Baxter Building. It's kind of like, I don't know. I kind of felt like I don't know, like like that's not Reed Richards. I don't know who that is, but it's not. That was probably my only like criticism. Everybody else was pretty good. Even the
Yeah,
thing was awesome. I think it was Michael Chiklis, right? And I know him because I liked him because I saw him in the Shield, which is a cop show he did a few years before that. So and he was great in that. So he's a great actor, and I thought he was perfect for the thing at the time. I think he fit it really well. Like he fit the character well.
yeah,
And everyone else was, Jessica Alba. She was fine. I mean, you know, um, yeah, she looked great as Sue Richards. I don't know about like her characterization of Sue Richards, like how she played it. I think could have been better, but
mm,
yeah, her casting was okay. I can't think of anyone else that would have been better at the time, right? I'm sure there probably were. So Johnny Storm was Captain America. Um,
yeah.
Chris,
Chris Evans.
yeah, and he was great. I thought he was a great Johnny Storm.
Yeah,
I think he was pretty spot on. So, so his portrayal, which was made it kind of even more surprising when he was cast as Captain America. It was like, wait a minute, this guy is going to be Captain America?
what's funny is I don't even
Great
remember.
actor.
I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, prior to that movie, the Fantastic Four movie, I didn't know
Well,
who
no,
he was.
I'm talking about Captain America. Like I didn't really like when I
Oh,
watched
you
Captain
didn't know who
America.
it was. Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't connect that this is the same guy.
Yeah, yeah, I know. When I was like, oh, I'm like, that's some great range,
Yeah,
like because they're very different characters. So I thought that was kind of cool. Listen, he was great as Johnny Storm, and he was even better as Captain America. I got to give it to him. Like the guy's good.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, that was like a pretty good iteration. The second movie was better, I think. And the disappointing part was Galactus because they didn't show Galactus. He was just this
Giant cloud.
giant energy storm in space. Like it was, which to be fair, Galactus is supposed to be massive, right? But he can change his size too. So I'm guessing it could have been just budgetary reasons, and also they were probably trying to ground the story more where they didn't want to get too fantastical. Maybe I don't know. I think it could have been just budget. Like they just didn't think they could pull it off,
Maybe, yeah.
and so they went with because they did a lot of VFX, obviously. So and it was pretty good. You know, I don't I don't think I ever had an issue with the VFX. I think it was actually, especially Johnny Storm. He looked really great when he did the flame on and all that. So
Yeah.
so yeah, so good portrayals. Just the story just wasn't great. And like I said, the casting for I don't even say the casting. It's really the portrayal of Reed Richards just wasn't good. It just wasn't him. I don't know who it was, but it wasn't him. you know,
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
so that was my only thing. And then the Josh Trank one was a disaster.
Oh yeah.
It
I
makes the
kind of
first
forgot that one existed.
Yeah, it makes the first two movies look like Academy Award winning.
Talking about a fan four stick, right?
Yeah, fan stick. It was just garbage. I'm sorry, but it was. It's just not a good movie,
No, it's not.
and it's unfortunate, but yeah, it's just not.
It's
Um,
really boring.
yeah, it's
It's like,
boring. They race swapped Johnny Storm. It's like why? And it's like what I mean. Like to what purpose? It makes no sense. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was terrible. And I heard that they had a lot of issues with the production too. Like Josh Trank wasn't exactly cooperative, and yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, you can look it up on Midnight's Edge channel.
Mm.
They talk about it extensively. So um, yeah, they had a lot of problems behind the scenes. So it kind of shows up in the movie. You can see because it's just yeah, it just wasn't good. Um,
No, it wasn't.
so and they kind of just rehashed the first Fantastic Four movie.
But somehow worse.
Doom. Yeah, yeah, just worse, right? But they kind of did the same thing with the whole other dimension. And that's the other thing. They did a dimension versus going into space, right? So they changed the origins, you know, which is like okay, you know. So I don't. Yeah, it was just I don't know. It wasn't good. It just wasn't a good movie. So this time they tried again. It was like this time we'll get it. Then they a gender swap Silver Surfer. So that's when I'm like, okay, so they still don't get it. Um, but I'm hearing it's despite that, it's still a good story or a good movie. And I have to admit, visually, it looks really beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I first saw the first couple of trailers, I was like, "Yo, like this is the Fantastic Four we've been waiting for." Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is what you want to see. Like it's called Fantastic Four. Everything around them should be fantastical, right? And that means retro futuristic technologies and you know what I mean, vast cityscapes and flying dirigibles and spaceships and going into space and fighting, weird space creatures and underground, whatever, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the Fantastic Four. That's the point. Um, finding Namor and all that stuff and Atlantis, and, you know,
Yeah.
Doctor
Yeah.
Doom, and so they started off with Galactus, which is it's awesome and also terrible in my opinion because I feel like they should build up to Galactus, not right out the gate Galactus. That's like
I guess.
Avengers doing right out the gate Thanos, in my opinion. It's like like the way Marvel did it is chef's kiss, right? Like there's no denying the way they did it, even if it was by probably by accident. They stumbled and bumbled through it, but they still stuck the landing with building up to Thanos, right? The way they built up with the extra scenes at the end of like Guardians and all that,
Yeah.
it was brilliant and it worked. And just like they did with Avengers, where they had Nick Fury visit Iron Man at the end of the movie, right? They built up to Avengers and we got Avengers. Then they built up to Thanos and we got Thanos, right? So I kind of feel like, yeah, they start to me, unless they're gonna make Doctor Doom the big bad, which that's cool, or they're gonna do, you know, take a page out of Jonathan Hickman's run, and do Franklin Richards because he's born in this movie. Spoiler alert: he's born.
Who?
Franklin Richards, the son.
Oh, the son. Oh, well, yeah.
So he's, and if you're familiar with the comics, he's like OP. Like he's has like godlike powers. Like it's kind of crazy. Like he can create little universes in his hands, and like it's. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
yeah, yeah. And so if they're gonna listen, if they're gonna do something like that, um, where maybe in the next movie Franklin Richards is older now, like maybe he's like 8 or 9, you know what I mean, like something like that, and they're gonna do some kind of future thing and time travel and Celestials and then resurrect Galactic. I mean, so I don't know. That would be amazing in my opinion if they did it right, of course.
Yeah.
But Marvel's hasn't done anything right since Infinity War, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, but I'm hearing overall good review, so that makes me want to go see it. So I think I will go see it. So hopefully we can go see it. Maybe, like I said, maybe today or tomorrow. So, um, but yeah, that's I'm happy to hear that it's at least a solid movie, just like Superman, right? You went to watch it, it's like, oh, it's not what a lot of the rumors were saying it was, right? In relation to like DEI stuff, race swapping, or whatever, political. It's just a superhero movie and it's actually a good story. Good, and it is. It really is. And listen, I have my criticisms of the Superman movie. We talked about them before, but overall, it is a good movie. I'm hoping I'll have the same sentiment with Fantastic Four. That at the end of the day, that I can honestly say, you know what though, I didn't like this or that, but it's still a good movie. It was a good watch, right? It was entertaining. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want, right? Don't you want to be entertained? You want something that's satisfying, right? That doesn't irk you or annoy you or frustrate you, right? I think that's what most people want. So hopefully we'll get that, and it looks like we just might. So I'm kind of excited about that. That's nice to hear and see. So yeah, you think you want to go see it?
Uh,
You're not as optimistic as I am.
I mean, listen, it's not even just that. I just, I mean, it does. I mean, it does look cool. Um, I don't know. Just from watching the trailers, though, there isn't anything that's outside of the aesthetic. I really like the aesthetic of the movie,
Yeah, yeah,
um, and there wasn't really anything that really stood out to me where I was like, "Oh, I must see this movie." I just also I just don't really care about Marvel anymore. And I keep saying this, but I checked out years ago, like after like around like Iron Man 2, like I just stopped caring. But,
yeah. I'm the same way. I mean,
that's not to say I haven't seen anything past Iron Man 2, but I'm not interested in following every single
yeah,
Marvel movie.
I mean, I went all the way through to Endgame, but once Captain Marvel hit, I was kind of done. You know what I mean? I was because, and the thing is, with Captain Marvel, I was hopeful because I wasn't familiar with the character from the comics. I never read an issue or whatever, so I was kind of like, okay. I didn't even know at the time. I didn't even know that he was a man. He
I
was,
knew about Miss Marvel, but they changed her
yeah,
once she
exactly.
became Captain Marvel. She
That's
became
exactly
sort of
right.
a worse character.
Yeah, I remember Ms. Marvel, and and I was only familiar with Captain Marvel from the X-Men animated series from the '90s, where Rogue got her powers from, right?
Oh, okay.
Because she was tricked by her because her family were like criminals, and
Hmm.
so she was young and she was manipulated by her mom to basically help them be criminals, and her mom used her powers because she can absorb your energy or whatever, right? And so she had her grab onto Captain Marvel, who was trying to stop them at the time, right? As a hero, and then she absorbed all of her powers, right? And it put Captain Marvel in a coma.
Ah,
And so that was the story. It was an episode, and that's all I knew about Captain Marvel. That she was a hero, kind of like Superwoman, right? Superman, whatever.
yeah,
And Rogue absorbed her abilities and put her in a coma, not intentionally, right? And so she felt guilty about it, you know, as she got older, right? And that episode was about her kind of trying to come to some kind of catharsis, right? Where she's not beating herself up about putting this person in a coma. She didn't
gotcha.
need to. And but that was like, oh, that's why she can fly. And that's why she's really strong. I was like, oh, okay. Like that was kind of cool. So,
Ah, okay.
but yeah, that's all I knew. And yeah, so going in, I was hopeful, but terribly disappointed, to say the least.
I mean, yeah,
So
but
yeah, very
but yeah, I
disappointed.
mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm happy people like it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect with this one, but I don't know. That's,
Yeah, we'll see. I think I'm gonna check it out though. So, but yeah, we're coming up on noon, so I'm gonna call it a Saturday. You got anything
well,
else?
well, before we head out, I just want to sort of do a palate cleanse from the stuff we watched earlier. And since Mecha Missionary brought up Sakigake Otoko Jutsu, I found one of the best clips of all time. You can read the title: "Base Japanese man stops racist foreigner." So this is episode two. This is episode two of Sakigake Otoko Jutsu. So for context, um, there's this there's this American boxer guy, and he beat up one of their school friends, and so now they're gonna get payback.
また来たのね。いつ見てもださい。
As lame as ever.
Here comes old-fashioned Japanese. All of Japanese are stupid.
Sorry, I got sweat in my hand.
あいつ何喋ってんだ
Can you see it, Dad?
答えだけはわからんの You speak English?
Can you see the clip, Dad? Oh. 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 All right, he still will be back. I want him to see it because it's hilarious. But yeah, this show is pretty out of pocket. But yeah, yeah, if you want to watch it, I believe you could find episodes on YouTube, and there's a bunch of clips of it, and it's pretty hilarious. I really enjoyed it. I think Mecha Missionary, you brought up Edajima Heihachi earlier. I didn't know that he shared the same voice actor with Rao. That makes a lot of sense. I'm also pretty sure that I feel like Edajima Heihachi was the inspiration for Heihachi Mishima from the Tekken series, just because they have similar designs and they have similar personalities. So I wouldn't be surprised if Heihachi Mishima was inspired by Edajima Heihachi. They're pretty similar characters. So that'd be pretty interesting to find out. But yeah, watch Sakigake Ojoko Juku. It's a funny show. I always forget how to say it in English. But it came out in the 80s. It was around that time where everybody was sort of making a Fist of the North Star, ripoff. Like there was one that was literally like Kenshiro, but he was a doctor and stuff like that. It got pretty ridiculous. But Sakigake Dokojuku was cool because it felt like a spoof of all that stuff, but it was still a fun show to watch in its own merit and stuff like that. And it had some it's got some good characters and whatnot, and they're all hilarious. They're all a bunch of goobers. But yeah, what I said earlier was pretty accurate. It's essentially, what if they sent Jotaro to military school, and that's the entire show. Yeah, there was a bunch of a lot. What's cool about a lot of 80s shows is that a lot of them have self-contained episodes, where you could kind of jump in anywhere. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want you to miss this because it's hilarious.
Okay.
But yeah, I only brought it up because what's his name? Mecha Missionary had brought it up earlier. And it's. I think it'd be a nice palate cleanser from the trailer we watched earlier. So for context, and I've seen this is like episode 2, but basically, some American boxer is in town and he beat up one of their friends, and now, what's his name? Momotaro, I think is his name. he's gonna go get some payback and show up this American boxer. Can you see it all right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Is it playing?
Yeah, it's playing.
Oh, I don't.
Oh.
I just see the screen. I was about to say,
Yeah, sorry.
are we using our imaginations?
No, no, we're not. Our imagination. There we go.
Yo, rocking the afro.
Here comes old-fashioned Japanese. All of the Japanese are stupid.
Sorry, I got sweat in my
That's
eye.
cold, bro.
あいつ何
Like, what does he say?
あいつの正体だけはわからんの。You speak English?
I'm rather be good at beating you up.
I'm a champion. I'm the strongest. Oh, やったぜ。助かったぜ。Damn it.
Oh my God.
I kill you.
Getting rocked.
Kempo.
Kimbo!
Kish.
Sa, 戦するか。
Boy, Yoko, help me.
Like, forget you, bro.
No.
Oh, but watch this.
その学ラン姿、とっても凛々しいですわ。私とお付き合いいただけません？私、乙女座女子第一年。
昨日は外人、今日は日本男児か。くるくる変わる女心。俺はバカな女は嫌いだ。
Yo. That's cold.
猫背魂。
Definitely got JoJo vibes.
女いらね
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that's how the episode ends.
That's hilarious.
Oh, and this is their principal, by the way. Not this guy. This guy is a bad guy.
I'm saying you don't look like a principal.
No, just watch. This guy.
わしが男塾塾長江田島平八である。
Oh, okay.
わしは南京大学で縁談話してもらうとります団長の井上山と申すもんですわ。実はお宅の教官と生徒が4名ほど預かっておりましてな。そんでもって一人に来てもらえまへんでっしゃるか。何しろうちの大学の一般学生がえらい被害被りましてな。慰謝料として100万。あんさん直々に持ってきてほしいんですわ。昔バス停で世話になった俺もきっちりしたいと思うとりますし。これ人のが悪い。おお、なんとか言ったらどないじゃ。わしが男塾塾長江田島平八である。
What?
He yelled in the phone
That was
so hard that it blew up the other side of the phone.
That's crazy.
Also, that's all he says. I am the principal of Otoku Juku and Jihamihachi. That's his one line throughout the entire show.
He just laughs like a fool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, anime is wild. Speaking of which, we didn't talk about the movie we watched. I forgot.
Oh, that's all right.
We can talk about it next week.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because there's a lot in there. We need to maybe we can
Yeah,
watch
it's-
it again. And yeah, because it's you want to bring it up just to tell people what we're gonna
Oh
talk
no, I want to surprise them.
about? Okay, all right.
I want to surprise them.
Yeah, it's like if yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love it though. I think because it's a movie that was made in the '80s, right?
Hmm.
And it's
Well, listen,
very it
I'll
was very
say
relevant
that.
then, and it's even more relevant
Well,
today.
listen, I'll just say this: it's a movie about penguins. However,
It is, yes,
it's not the movie you think it is.
yeah. It is a
This
movie
is
about
not. This is not Happy
no.
Feet,
It's leave it at that. It's a movie about penguins,
but it's not Happy Feet.
and
The feet are
yeah,
actually very
it's
sad.
yeah, it's not Happy Feet.
It's
Um,
not Surfs Up.
yeah,
It's
it's
not.
not Surfs Up, but you will like it.
Oh
I
yeah.
can almost guarantee it. So that's what we're going to talk about next week is a movie about penguins.
Yeah.
And man, oh man, you're in for a treat. But yeah, that's going to call it a day. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for listening in, and thanks for your commenting. We appreciate you. Thanks for your support. And remember to check out our website, supergalacticfantastic.com. Go in there and sign up to our email list, and you'll get a free 12-page digital comic for color, and on available on man, I can't think of the site right now.
Oh, Amazon.
No, it's Global Comics. I'm sorry,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Global Comics. So check it out and lend us your support. We're going to be starting our campaign in a couple of months, and we already got some pages getting made. I found great artists to work with to do our interiors, and I think you're going to love it. So please check it out. Join our email list so we know that you're interested, and so that we'll let you know when the campaign begins. And we appreciate all of your support. So yeah, and tune in next week where we're going to tell you about this great movie about penguins. Make it a wonderful day.
We'll see you around.